I have to ask questions. I have to learn other people. It's not just specifically about me, but it seems like he doesn't actually care about other people. So he would never get to that point. Hey.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Thaleisha. And welcome to the Binge Box, where we share our thoughts on TV shows, friendships, relationships, and everything in between.
Join us as we binge on all the good stuff life has to offer. On today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 7, Episode 10. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button. We have a new goal now. Our new goal is 75 subscribers.
Woo!
If you're one of our return viewers, we appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the support. And drop a comment below. Let's get right into it.
Episode 10 starts off with Hannah and Nick. They're doing their engagement photo shoot, and Hannah is continuing to belittle Nick. He's feeling a little self-conscious because she's wearing her heels for the shoot. He's like, I didn't know you was going to wear this. And she's just like, I thought you was bringing your confidence with you today. And he's trying, but I don't think it's working. Eventually they finish their shoot and they're having another moment where they're trying to decide on the pictures, and she decides she's going to take the smaller bookmark sized photos because she reads and he doesn't. Again, continuously belittling this man.
This was the most awkward photo shoot I've ever seen in my life.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. Beautiful ring. Great. You guys can hold hands down here. No, like this. Okay. Awesome.
This right here looked like some mother and child type of thing. Like when you graduate from middle school, your mom look kind of proud of you, but you're still a little young. He's sitting in the chair and she's standing up hugging him from behind. I'm just like, yo. And she wearing like a vice principal suit. Like, I don't know what type of fit she be putting on, but
her outfits are a little elderly. But yeah, she does think she's his mom, so it makes sense. Next up, we have Marissa and Ram. They're talking about whether the big things are going to change, quote unquote big things, in regards to Ram. Marissa takes a moment to herself. She says she needs to use the bathroom. She comes back. They're trying to prepare to cook. And Ram is like, we still need to talk. What's going on? She says she's not mad, but she's not feeling well. She's been sick. She says that she's been stressed from school, from work, traveling back and forth. And she also has a vitamin deficiency, apparently. And she just hasn't been feeling well. And Ram is like, I'm not feeling this energy. You're not showing me the attention that you normally show me. I need a little more intimacy. I expect my marriage to be affectionate. And she's just like, bro, I'm sick. What do you expect from me?
Ramses be losing me. Ramses has appeared to us as this non-masculine man and whatever. And this is what Marissa's fantasy has always been, because she
a non-traditional man.
Yeah. And he got toxic masculine qualities. I love women, right? And I'll say that proudly as hell. Mm-hmm. And for me, when you love women, you need to love them unconditionally. When they not loving you, you still gotta love them. You love them when they're not feeling well. You can't just love them when she on your body, when she tonguing you down and she kissing you, hugging you. She's not feeling well today, bro. Literally, she says she's in the red. So it's her time of month. Mm-hmm. She's not feeling well. Of course, she's not going to be all over you. If the fact that you're mad about that because she's not hugging you and kissing you, there's a problem with you. It's not a problem with her.
Right.
That's toxic, bro.
Only to mention, she said she has a vitamin deficiency. While you're menstruating and you have a vitamin deficiency, it's 10 times harder. Your body is so much more weak. Your body is just trying to work overtime for the lack of blood and oxygen that is receiving, So, yeah, he just needs to be mindful, but clearly he doesn't give a damn. But we saw that from the condom conversation.
Yeah, he's just showing his ass. And it's I had no problem with him at first now, but these little things starting to show me that, bro, do you really care about women, overall? Mm-hmm. Or you only care about them when you're getting benefits to yourself?
That's what it seems like.
Because, that's not love to me. Mm-hmm. Loving somebody is when you love them good times, bad times, not when you just getting pleasure, bro. Right. Because it seems like you only like Marissa when they either having sex or she's just happy-go-lucky, when that's just not marriage. You about to marry somebody, bro. Mm-hmm. Real life, when you marry somebody, it's not going to be rainbows and sunshines every single day. Right. A lot of times it should be, hopefully, but if we put on real glasses and look at life, it's gonna be bad times, bro.
Of course.
If you dipping in the bad times, bro, there's no need for you to be here over it.
That. She also mentions the concept of like men cheating on their wives when they have cancer or when they're postpartum, and she's questioning if it's going to be an issue for him. And he's just like, we don't really have the answers right now. We'll figure that out if it comes up, but like, I don't really know what to tell you. He's not reassuring at all in that moment. He's just like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah. That's a red flag. He danced around that question. In that moment, her saying that, as a man, you need to reassure your woman in that moment. Mm-hmm. She's literally pretty much asking you, if I'm not feeling well, if we're going through whatever, are you going to leave me? Mm-hmm. And in that moment, as a man, your job is to reassure her and let her know, baby, I am with you through thick and thin, and I'm not going nowhere. That's what she needed to hear. I have no
intentions to cheat on you, what she wanted to hear, or leave you, or anything in those rough moments. Like, I plan to support you, but clearly he's not ready for that, and it's confusing because it's like you were already married. So, like, what were you doing in that first marriage? Clearly, we see why he was not married anymore. Mm-hmm. But like, what were you really doing in that first marriage to not already be on this page,
Ramsey's your first wife. I need to hear from her. Ramsey's first wife, if you want to be interviewed on the Binge Box, holla at us. Because if you want to hear your story,
DM us, email us, whatever. We need to hear it. But yeah, she ends up the conversation basically saying like she's just scared to see like if he's gonna see it through. She's worried about their sex life and like what's gonna happen essentially, just because she hasn't been in that space and she doesn't want him to feel like this is just the end all be all of the relationship.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Alex and Tim. Alex meets Tim's parents for the first time. His mom pretty much talked the entire time. She says his name is actually not Tim. His daddy's name is Tim, and his name is Drake. I'm assuming that's his middle name, though.
Yeah, he's Tim Jr., but they call him Drake because it's going to be real confusing. Right. To say Tim come downstairs and both of them come. So,
right. Which, to my confusion, why name your child the same thing and not like at least be like TJ or something?
I mean, some people is just different. I mean, some people call him TJ, just probably just his middle name, and it's probably like that more.
Maybe
he probably just don't like TJ.
Who knows? That's why I'm a firm believer in not naming their children juniors. But hey,
I'm a firm believer in the junior, man. But Tyler from Love Is Blind letting the Tyler name down, so I'm a little skeptical about naming my seed Tyler now.
Irritating. Okay. Mom says she likes the idea of the experiment. She says that she feels like her son is a great person. His emotions are pretty much similar to hers and that they have a separation thing that she relates to. I didn't fully understand the concept of that statement. But they did, and she just asked the dad like how he felt about dealing with her with that and how Alex felt about it, and they kind of share the same sentiment. Like, it's a little difficult, but anything worth having is worth working hard for, I guess. Yeah. So they're willing to put the work in.
I mean, I understood it. From what I got from it, it was like when they get overwhelmed or overstimulated, they need to separate. Like, especially during arguments, it seemed like, especially when they had that fight, Tim was saying he was trying to leave you. He would not let me leave. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what she was saying. Her and her mom are more like, him and his mom are more like when it's...
avoidant. That's the right word.
Pretty much.
Got it.
They need to step away for a minute and maybe cool off or whatever. And a lot of relationships, it's hard to deal with that. Because if I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and I hear the conversation sometimes, and I need to get my feelings off you. You're trying to walk away because you need a moment. It's a lot. And a lot of people are like, no, don't go nowhere. But some people need that. So I guess Tim is like that. His mom is like that. And the dad, of course, had to learn how to deal with that. And until Alex is learning how to deal with that. But it is a lot to do.
Right. Got it. I mean, I get it now. I didn't understand when they first said it, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm also a kind of like, I need to take a break. I can't talking outright. You got to think about and process your emotions a little bit. You can't just be like, I feel da-da-da. Like, no. You could feel that way in the moment. And then when you really process it, you're like, I don't actually feel this way because of this. It's because of something else. Like, you can't effectively communicate until you process it a little bit more. But I don't necessarily feel like he just needs to process. I feel like he just wants to decide what he's going to do when he steps away, which makes a difference.
Yeah.
Versus like leaving open room to like have a conversation, have a discussion.
He also seems like he doesn't like conflict. He has always mentioned this a lot. I don't know if it stems from something in the past. Maybe his parents used to argue, his siblings used to argue. But he says he does not do conflict. So when there is conflict, he does like to walk away.
I don't think he likes conflict because I think he likes to lead and dictate everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want to have a conversation or a debate because he rather just have the person listen to whatever he says and just does what he say. Versus like, if we're arguing or having discourse right now, I share my viewpoint, you share your viewpoint, you can see things from my end, I can see things from your end, and maybe we could find a common ground. He don't want the common ground. He just wants whatever he wants.
It's Tim Wade highway.
Right. So yeah, they continue having conversations. Mom is asking pretty good questions. I feel like Alex had decent answers. She's just going with the flow, trusting the process, and like open to going through the good times and the bad times. She says her goal is to show her husband respect and try to be on the same page, even when things aren't great and they just want to choose to make it work. The dad doesn't talk very much, which was surprising. He probably said like 2 words in the clip, but he essentially says like he actually likes Alex, and once they're willing to make it work, like he's do what they got to do.
He's not. He seems just like he let his wife do all the talking, and he just like yeah,
whatever she says.
Yeah, whatever she says goes.
Happy wife, happy life.
He probably say whatever he gotta say when he get back home and they get in bed. He be like, no, actually, but when they're in public, he just let her run shit. And you do what you do, bro. To each his own.
To each his own. Tim says he's not sure if they're on the same page, and Mom is immediately like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you have to do the hard things. She says, it's not easy to become one with 2 minds, which I really like that quote. Because when you think about it, it's like when you're becoming a union, you have to become one individual thing, but you're still 2 individuals.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like put that together when you have differences trying to find a commonality.
And especially in this short ass amount of time, honestly, too. Because you don't really get time to really adjust your thinking and really start to understand the way your partner thinks. And
there's not enough time to figure them out.
Absolutely. It's a lot of blind faith that goes into this process, honestly. I mean, love is blind.
Right.
It's blind faith.
Clearly. Next up, we have Ashley and Tyler. Ashley says she wouldn't do this in any other scenario. And she's just trying with Tyler at this point. Tyler says that the situation he was in was just a close friend. He was doing a favor for a couple, and he felt like God was telling him to do something good for this family. And that's why
don't bring God into this,
he decided to do it.
Don't bring God into this, man. Please.
Can't bring God into it?
Nah, not for this foolishness. Not if you're going to lie in your next breath. Like, come on, Tyler. I feel like I'm talking.
We don't know if he's lying yet.
Okay.
Ashley asked him if the kids know who he is, and his response is, I don't think so.
That is a bold-faced lie. If you're watching this, you probably got a TikTok, an Instagram, or social media, and there's been pictures of Tyler going around with these children. I've seen Christmas photos. I've seen back-to-school photos. I've seen all of those photos. So the fact that this man could say, I don't know if they know what I look like, you're just lying. And I feel like that was a lie, a loophole lie. Where technically he didn't say yes and technically he didn't say no. So if it backfires, he could hit Ashley with the whole like, I never said they didn't know what I look like. I said, I don't know if they do. Maybe they could have forgot. I haven't been there in a while. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I felt like in that moment, if I was Ashley, I would have immediately clocked it. I pay attention to the little things and like the little parts of the conversation where it's like, I know you're not fully saying it outright, but I see the message in between the lines. And I would have immediately been like, what do you mean you don't think so? Like, have they or have they not seen you?
Fact.
You would know if they've seen you or not.
Fact.
You were there. Anyway.
But Tyler gonna Tyler. I lost all respect for this guy, man.
Bruh. Ashley says she's gonna try to make it work. And Tyler says he's going to wait as long as he needs to once she's trying. And they both agree, like, they're going to push it out at least until they get to the altar before they decide what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Garrett and Taylor. They're on a date. I wasn't fully sure what the date was. It seemed like
a calligraphy date.
Yeah, but then it's like, what are you writing?
I'm just making words look beautiful.
Just doing it like okay, because they brought the grandparents like letters and stuff. I'm like, I thought they were gonna incorporate that somehow, but I wasn't fully understanding.
Taylor picked her favorite one and she rewrote it herself.
Oh, she was rewriting. Yeah. Okay, I missed that
that's
part.
That's why they wrote the notes. Yeah, so they could rewrite it.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know if Garrett. They never showed Garrett picked one, and I get it. Like I don't know if I want to pick one of your grandparents' notes.
Yeah.
But Taylor picked her favorite one and she rewrote it.
Okay. Makes sense. They end up talking about Garrett's mom. He's saying like she's still not sure how she feels about it. She's trying to process the whole situation, but he's not sure if she's going to come to the wedding. He thinks that she might, but it's still a 50-50 chance, I guess.
Yeah, now she'll be at the wedding. She just don't know if she'll fully be
supportive
of everything. And I understand it. It's a lot to process, especially with the whole San Diego part of it. Mm-hmm. It's one thing if they're getting married and pretty much they're gaining a daughter. Mm-hmm. But they want to get to know this daughter that they're gaining and also not lose their son. Right. Like they live in Fredericksburg or whatever it's called, and where Garrett lives is not far from there. So I feel like they've always had a relationship where they can access their son whenever they want, and he can access his family whenever he wants, and that's what they're used to. So now him going 6 hours across the country, it's a big giant difference, especially for a girl he just met. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I get his mother's reservations. I do.
I get her reservations too, but at the same time, it's like this is a grown man. He got to make his own decisions. He got to experience life. You just got to let it go.
But you want to protect. As a parent, you want to protect your child. And he going far as hell where you can't even be like, yo, if you need something, I got you. Yeah. It's not even at that distance where you could show up. Like
I mean, there's always ways. You can't just show up at the door in a quick second, but like you'll figure out a way to pull up if you really needed to.
Yeah. I just think they should stay in that area, the DMV area, for a little bit longer before they go.
Yeah, just a little more time.
Yeah, to develop a relationship and make sure, even after they get married, this is what y'all really want. Mm-hmm. Because y'all only been knowing each other for 6 weeks. Right. So y'all should really maintain in that spot. Really settle in, even maybe not even a year, even like 6 months to figure out what y'all really want. Mm-hmm. But build a foundation here. Yeah. Because also, I have mixed feelings about Taylor even being on the show. No, she's from San Diego now, because I'm confused.
Because I mean, she was living there, so technically.
Yeah, but like I feel like the whole integrity of the show is they pick people that live in one area so you can stay in that area. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like it's a little unfair to Garrett, that the girl he picked talking about, yeah, let's go across the world because that's where my family's at. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a lot. I came here to date people in my area. Right. So but
he also knew who he got into a relationship with, and like.
No, true.
When you say A, you gotta say B. Like, if he knew that was a hard no for him, he would have, I'm sure, said no. Because he's a very logical person. Mm-hmm. I would assume he would have said no immediately once he knew like that was the goal. But clearly he's open to it, so it's not an issue.
But also, I feel like it's low-key a form of manipulation, because she don't even mention that till after they got the pods. After he done fell for her now. So once I'm committed,
we don't know that.
As far as I saw, and I can only go based on that. The San Diego thing only got mentioned after they were out the pods, based on the editing that I saw. And that's a form of manipulation, in my opinion, because if you had said it over rip, it would have been like, it's a hard no, I'm not going anywhere. Like, heck no. But the fact that he fell in love with her, now he's like, yo, I want to be with you. So wherever you go, I'm going to go. It's a difference. Mm-hmm.
Assuming that it did happen only after the pods, then yes, I agree it's manipulation. But we, like I said, don't know.
We don't know.
It could have been said, and he could have known about it, and we're just here. Yeah. Arguing about nothing.
Regular shit.
Next up, we have Hannah and Nick. They're on a date. She continues to make fun of him for how much better she is than him. She says that his icks are becoming funny. And she asked him if he's ready to get married. His response? Yes, I'm ready to get married, especially after meeting our families and seeing all the support we have. And she's like, why does it matter? You shouldn't care about what our families think. Once we know what we want, that's all that matters. And he's like, yeah, I already said yeah. Like, what more do you want from me? And she's making him realize that he's actually maturing and his priorities are changing. So he's ready to, take the reins and step into this marriage now.
This conversation right here already proved to me why I called her a monster. Because all he said was like, I'm ready to marry you and our family being supportive makes me feel even better. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what does the families matter? Families matter to people. Right. Like, Nick lives at home with his family.
I think it's just because her family doesn't matter to her.
But she's projecting out on him. Like, Unfortunately, her family does not really care that much. We've all seen it. They met him. They was like, "Yo, what you say to him? Like, you pick him. Like, you do
right.
you." Like that's her family's on that type of timing. But like, and I get it, Hannah, and I don't want to like take away from that because I've never experienced what she has experienced. I come from a very loving family. When I get married, my family's gonna be very involved. If I came on a show like this, they'd be very involved. So shout out to my family. But she can't project that onto Nick and make it seem like it's a problem for him loving his family and valuing his family's opinion.
I think that's ultimately what it comes down to, though. Like, she has animosity towards him because of his upbringing and the relation that he has with his parents, in contrast to the relationship that she has with her parents.
And a lot of the stuff she projects on him, calling him immature, is more so, I wish my family kept me and gave me a spot in the basement. That. I wish I didn't have to go out at 18 and figure out life. Yeah. And it's a lot of like, and people do that. Like when people see stuff that they wish they had, they tend to envy them and just treat them really bad. And that's what it is with Nick. Because Nick is exactly what she wished she had from her family. Yeah. And that's why she treats him, belittles him, because she's like a bully. You know what you know how the bullies be the poor kid and they try to bully the rich kid. I wish I had the clothes you have. So I'm going to bully you, make you feel bad about having nice clothes. That's pretty much what she's doing.
Well, I don't think that's really... I see where you were going with that, but...
it makes sense.
All right. He says he wants to feel equal to her and not like she's moving like she's better than him. And she says she feels like he would be treated equal when he starts contributing like he's equal. She says she's hard on him and like mean sometimes when he says certain things. She's trying to feel out the situation instead of getting frustrated, but she doesn't feel like he's capable of doing certain things at his big grown age, and that's why she just ends up saying and doing mean things. And he says he's trying to work on himself, and they have the same like common goals, and he's ready. Like that, it doesn't matter what she's frustrated about. Like he's been showing in his mind that he's maturing and he's ready to take the next step.
Yeah. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go.
Nick is a grown-ass man. Off rip. He's a grown-ass man. So for you to say he's going to be treated like an equal when he proves he's an equal is already crazy. Because at the end of the day, he's a grown-ass man. So he is an equal. Like, this...
not necessarily.
He is your fiance.
But...
And when Nick says...
He is who she chose.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right? When Nick introduces her, Nick says, "This is my fiance." When Hannah introduced him, she said, "This is my fiance." Y'all are both fiancés, meaning y'all are equal. Y'all have the same title. You're not like his mom. He's not your child. Y'all are two grown-ass adults in a relationship, a partnership. Equal.
That.
Like, the fact that she's moving like she's the president and he's the vice president. No. Y'all are doing this together. Y'all are co-captains of the team.
That. I feel like her saying that, she likes to demean this man, obviously. We've all established that. That's the basis of the conversation and most of the conversations that she has with him anyway. In this moment, her saying that they're not equal makes no sense to me because it's like, one, you don't have a job. He has a job. Maybe he's not as budget savvy. He's not as like technical and disciplined with his daily routine. Doesn't mean he's not incapable. And that's the thing. Like, if he was a man where it's like, he can't do I could be like, okay, maybe. He can't cook. We saw from the way he handled the boiling water situation. That's fair enough. Okay, you want to teach him how to cook? That doesn't mean you have to talk down to this man. It's like, where you lack, he can pick up, and where he lacks, you can pick up. But y'all don't have to talk down and demean each other. Just like work around the situation. And these are all things that you knew when you were in the pod, that he was living at home, that he didn't have as much technical responsibilities as you might have had. And you still decided to continue with him. So like, what are we really even talking about? Yeah. I don't know.
Like I said before, Nick has kept it 100 about who he is and what he do in the pods. Hannah created a whole fictitious idea of what she thought Nick was going to be.
Right.
And is mad that he's not
that.
The fictitious thing she thought he was going to be.
That.
Like, you can't blame the man for being who he told you he was going to be.
Right. All right. Next up, we have Marissa and Ram. They're talking about the details of their boho glam wedding, according to Marissa. I don't know what that means, but hey. They start talking about his previous marriage and wanting to incorporate him into the wedding planning. He says he's down for that. Obviously, he wants to be a part of it. She apologizes for being sucky on her period, whatever that means, but they agree that they're back on the same page and they worked out the intimacy issue, which is code for they had intercourse, clearly. They say that they both have no doubts about the wedding day. They're both like ready and willing to walk down the aisle and say yes. She says that she needs some clarity. She wants to make sure like throughout the whole time he's just keeping it 100 with her. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And she says, yeah, we're ready. She's confident in the wedding day now.
Yeah, Ramsey's full of confidence now because they did the dude. Like, I hope Marissa's noticing the way he moves.
The signs.
The way he moves when he gets some and the way he moves when he don't get some.
Right.
That's a problem. Like, that's a problem.
Very suspicious.
Especially because y'all getting married. There's going to be times when you're just not going to give him none. Due to arguments, due to pregnancy, due to a whole bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. How he going to move?
Hormones.
But, you know.
Anything.
That's her Ram, so.
It could have been a bad day. Somebody could have died.
That.
Like, so we can't have no off days? Shit.
I got no comments on that, man.
All right, so now we get to the main event. Alex and Tim. Alex is preparing her dinner, and Tim was like, yo, let's have a conversation. After she just said she was hungry, she was exhausted from the day, he's like, I really don't care if you're hungry. Come and talk to me right now. Like, we need to talk. He essentially says, like, he didn't appreciate how she went to sleep after his parents visited. He admits they talked for 4 hours, but she went to sleep right after the cameras cut, and he just didn't appreciate that. After all the time that his parents took to come, all the effort that he took into, you know, doing things to make sure everybody was good, showing up when her parents came, he felt like she didn't show up for him and his parents in that moment. And they kind of just have a little debate. And I like to say, first of all, I wasn't having that conversation. In the middle of the night, when I just warmed up my food, sat down to eat, just told you I was starving, and you want to tell me that you want to have a conversation right now when you had all day, the day before, whatever time, to talk, I'm not talking to you right now, I'm eating. That would have had to wait until my belly was full.
I mean, from what he was saying, it sounded like he was trying to have a conversation for a little minute, but she was just like not available.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
she could be unavailable for another like 15 minutes to eat.
Yeah, for sure. Seems like he just needed to get it
out. So essentially the conversation is just that he was upset that she went to sleep. She said she didn't get to talk to him the day before. They kind of texted, but it wasn't much. When she tried to call him, he wasn't trying to have the conversation anymore. He was over it. She said she felt dismissed by him, and she actually ended up crying. And that was a very hard moment for her. He says that he also felt dismissed by her and that she didn't really care about the efforts that he put in to see her family. And she's not the type of woman that he sees himself with. He doesn't understand the communication that they had, and he just doesn't think that she's aligned with him, essentially. Because there's certain things that he would have done that she just doesn't do as a wife. And yeah, he basically said, like, I'm good off of you. I don't want to do this.
There is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind, and I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah, nah, he said, I never want to see you again. I was like, damn, bro, gangsta. But my biggest thing that I'll say about Alex and Tim is I feel like they don't understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is the downfall of their relationship. They do not understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
They have two different ways of communicating. They have two different ways of operating, and it does not mesh.
Yeah.
I feel like for a healthy relationship, one, your communication has to be well, and you need to actually understand the way your partner communicates.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody communicates different. I might be a person that's going to text you every single detail. You might be a person that's not going to tell me every detail. If you know your partner's not a detailed person, you understand that when they don't give you details, there's nothing wrong with it, and they don't mean anything less. That's just how they are. They don't understand that about each other.
Yeah.
Secondly, they don't understand how each other operate. Tim is a very much like strict person. He do everything by the book, and that's how he operates. And you can see that. You can see that in his home.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that in the way he prepared the meals. You can see that in the way he speaks. Even the way he words his vocabulary and his sentences. He's very like spick and span. No, Alex, on the other hand, is like just wild. Like you see it in her crib. You kind of see it in the way she does stuff. Like, which is fine. Everybody has their own way of making it work. Mm-hmm. They even say some of the smartest people's minds are full of clutter. Yeah. So I'm not taking anything away from Alex, but it just doesn't work for the two of them.
They're just not compatible.
They're not. They're two opposites. And I feel like if they did more conversations about real shit and not trauma dumping in the pods, they would have maybe noticed some of those things. But I do feel like it was just a therapy session for Tim.
Essentially. And that's what I was actually going to get into, because I feel like that's the reason why they don't know each other, is simply because he was trauma dumping. She was listening. She really wasn't putting any input. Mm-hmm. And I remember you specifically saying, like, I don't know anything about Alex.
Exactly.
Because there was no time for Alex to speak, show her personality, show her viewpoints, show her ideas, and for us to get to know her, because it was all Tim. And she was being there and supporting him as she should, because in a moment, like when somebody's debriefing and expressing their grief, like you don't want to just shut it down. You want to hold space. But that wasn't beneficial to the dynamic of the relationship, because now you only know about him and he doesn't know anything about you. And now it's like a slap in the face when he has to actually see you and view you as a person with opinions and feelings, and you're not just sitting there to listen to him and appease him and do whatever he needs.
And that's why my favorite thing to always say is, don't introduce somebody to a lifestyle that you're not going to continue to keep. Mm-hmm. Alex, unfortunately, introduced him to a lifestyle not saying much and just being like a yes man to him. Mm-hmm. And now when she got her own mind, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not blaming Alex. I'm not. But like,
they're both to blame.
Absolutely.
Because at the same end, it's like, yes, she should be able to open up her mouth and say how she feels, and not just, be on mute if that's not the type of person that she is. But at the same time, what's his name? Tim, should also realize, like, we're in this experiment and I need to get to know this person. I can't just continue to talk about me. I have to ask questions. I have to learn other people. It's not just specifically about me, but it seems like he doesn't actually care about other people. So he would never get to that point.
Mm. And one key thing I also think about, too, was why he broke it off with her was because, remember, he wanted to give his parents a daughter again. Mm-hmm. And she didn't spend all day with them. Because she went to sleep and they were still there. Mm-hmm. And he wanted them to get a daughter again. And he's just like, you're not being their daughter because you're not here. And I feel like that played a factor as well. Like
of course.
I didn't think about that till just now, that he was big on, like, I'm trying to get another daughter. They lost two of their daughters.
Versus, like, you're trying to get a wife. This is not about your parents. Yeah. But so, hey.
like, off rip, once you didn't pass the parent test, meaning that, like, he was with them all the time and you didn't act like a daughter, it was like, all right, you're done.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to put up everything else. Her grabbing up his mouth on this, on that. Yo, the parents, they're not getting another daughter. See you later. I never want to talk to you again.
Insane. So yeah, he walks out and that is the end of it. In the next scene, we now have the couples getting ready for a Great Gatsby themed party. All getting cute, dressed up, whatever, putting on their costumes. And then we cut to the party and Garrett and Taylor are outside having a moment where apparently Garrett got a message from his ex and she was just telling him, expressing her feelings. And Taylor's like, you need to shut it down immediately. Like, I don't know what this conversation is even about, but like, why doesn't she know that you're engaged? Like, what is this communication about? Why are you even talking to this lady? Everybody you ever dated in life should know that you're about to be married, sir.
I feel like that was a bit of a drag. I get the concept of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody in life that you know, like, it, and that's the thing about Love is Blind that makes everything so weird, in my opinion. One, just because there's no way to let everybody, all your exes know you're engaged. Like, I'm not, you want to reach out to my exes like, hey, I'm engaged. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's a lot of work. Because then, I guarantee if you go do that as a man, go text all your exes, why are you texting your exes?
Yeah, why are you texting?
Bro, it's a
why do
lose,
you need to let her know?
It's a lose-lose situation. But the thing about Love is Blind is just like, you engaged, but you kind of dating your fiance. So it makes it so much more complicated. Because, like, if you started dating a guy or I started dating a girl for, like, 3 weeks, which they're at right now, it would be no problem me still talking to another woman. Or, like, it would be no problem for that.
Yeah.
But in Love is Blind,
dating.
Yeah, but Love is Blind, it's your fiance, but you low-key dating them. So it's like, is it really a problem? But it's a problem, which makes it way more complicated.
It is, because you're engaged.
No, for sure.
You're engaged to be married in 2 weeks.
And then as an ex in that situation, it's so confused. It's like, yo, you were single like 2 weeks ago. Bro.
Literally.
Like 2 weeks ago, we smashed. Like,
you had no
and you were
drama.
single. You're engaged now, bro? Like, you're lying. Like, if I hit up one of my exes that I spoke to a week ago, and they talk about, I'm engaged. Like, if you don't want to talk to me no more, just say that. But don't make up no bullshit.
Like, since when?
Like, how? How that happen?
You was at my house every day. Like, how? Since, like, what? Anyway. He asked her for patience and, just to give him time. And she's like, I just need some time to process the situation. It just happened. We gonna figure it out. They go into the party. It's cool. The girls come in. Everybody's debriefing about all their drama. Ashley with Tyler. Hannah with Nick, of course. And yeah, they're just hashing it out. And then Monica walks in without Steven, of course. But she says that they actually had a 2-hour conversation before she came. And she realized, like, he's actually a cool person. He just kind of effed up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think nothing wrong with Steven. He just nasty as hell and a weirdo. He been a nasty boy. But, but I don't think nothing wrong with him. I just think he just a weirdo when it comes to that part of it. So, like, I get the conversation they had, and I respect Monica being like, yeah, we had a conversation, but she said I'm
good off of that.
Never, ever
getting back together.
Like, she let that be known. So I respect Monica.
Yeah, shout out to her for being smart, because no thank you, ma'am.
Somebody go get her some flowers.
Next we have Bowden and Katie pulling up to the scene with their ceilings missing. She says Nick is cuter in person, and she says it. She means it in the nicest way. But I was just thinking that's her way of digging. Like, I think he looks ugly as hell on Instagram or wherever the hell she's seen him. But, like, in person, he's not that bad.
Hey, I don't know. Women be saying some shit like that. I can't comment on that.
Garrett and Taylor ended up talking once again about the issue to Ashley and Tyler. He starts telling them the situation, and then somehow he says that he actually responded to the message, which originally he said that he didn't respond. He just liked it or something. And Taylor has a whole breakdown. She loses her entire mind because she's like, whoa, I thought you were just liking a message. Now you're responding? Which was confusing to me, because I'm like, wouldn't the no response being so elusive be a little bit more worrisome than a definite
I think it's more so the changing of the story though.
No, I definitely get that part. But the concept of it all, the actual details and the facts of the matter, because they're both factual kind of people, supposedly, it would make more sense for him to respond and outright say, yeah, I'm not interested, versus just liking it. Because you can allude to, maybe I am interested in whatever the hell she was saying.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor's biggest gripe was just, now
you're not telling me the
she don't know the whole truth now, and now she's not even sure of what you're saying now to even affect. Because when they had the conversation outside, Taylor literally said, yo, you should have just said, you should have said, I am engaged.
That's it.
I can't do this no
Goodbye.
more. And mind you, when he went in the spot and spoke to them, he deadass said, that's what I said.
Yeah. But so she wasn't hearing it. She just wasn't trying to hear it.
I wouldn't want to hear it either, because yo, if when I told you that outside, if you just kept it 100 and said, that's what I said, it would have been good money. Yeah. So now she's like, I don't know what you're saying. But also she said, let me see your phone. Let me see what you said. And he was like, babe, we could do that later. And that's the code for hopefully by the time later come around,
she forget about it. I could delete it.
Bullshitted, and she don't remember. So and she picked up on it. Taylor's a smart girl. So that's why she started breaking down, because it was like, yo, I don't know if this man is telling me the truth.
Right.
And in Love is Blind fashion, she don't know this man. So she don't really know. Right. She don't know when he lied. She don't know when he telling the truth.
Legit.
She don't know anything about the exes. He probably went to sleep study the night before. So she don't know.
He was outside with Steven. Crazy.
She don't know.
Next, we have Bowden and Marissa. They're having a conversation, and it seems very friendly. They're both very, like, chipper, bubbly kind of people, so it was good conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so was I what you expected to look like when we talked?
No.
Oh, no. What were you expecting?
Okay, I always expected you to be, like, kind of, like, short and tiny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I did.
And Marissa's like, I'm glad I friends on this man, because he was not it. Like, he seems like a cool dude, but I'm happy with my man, Ram.
I think Marissa's handled this like love triangle situation the best I've seen anybody handle it in Love Is Blind history.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just stood on like, yo, I pick Ram, I like Ram. Bowden, you cool? She was really friendly with him, but it was friendly in a friendly with no flirting. Mm-hmm. And she had Ram right there too. And I feel like sometimes you gotta do that. It's easy to have a conversation when your partner's right there.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to become a later when we get home. As we gonna see very, very soon with Hannah and Nick and all them. Like if your partner's right there, they can't come home and ask you, what's the conversation about?
Yeah,
you standing right there. Like, you know
you
exactly
heard,
what I'm talking
already
about.
know.
There's nothing to be left unheard, nothing to be left unsaid. Mm-hmm. Especially if everything is really innocent. We don't need to have a private conversation. Mm-hmm. They was standing there at the bar just chopping it up. The three of them. Yeah. Probably also because
they were friends before. Yeah.
They wasn't mortal enemies like sometimes they be.
Right. I agree with that, but I also feel like the other parties play a part in that, because if they're not mature enough, that situation could have easily turned left, even though she's handling it the best she could. Party. Yeah, like if Bowden was to act crazy or to be like all over her or, just disrespectful.
He wasn't trying to be a homewrecker too. Yeah. A lot of times people come in the spot like, yo, I'm trying to stir up the pot. Yeah, Bowden came like, yo, I heard free food on Netflix. Right. I heard I might get to see Marissa. She might be kind of valid. I'm going to go chop it up, get some drinks, see all the man them from back in the pods, and we good. Right. Shout out to Bowden, bro. Shout out. Hopefully no camels attack him again, bro.
You're irritating. Next up, we have Ashley and Hannah talking. She tells her that she wants Nick to see Hannah's fun side. She feels like she doesn't show him that side, and she's just been strict, and serious. And she felt like Hannah could possibly broaden Nick's horizon, but he doesn't get to see that side of her because she's just too used to being his mom. And Hannah's basically just saying, like, she really wants to do that, but, like, she can't. There's certain worries and concerns that she has with Nick. One being their sexual interaction. She feels like he's not really pleasing her. He's worried about himself. He wants to get himself off and, like, move like a child, essentially, like a teenager. But he's not worried about, like, pleasing his woman. And that is rubbing her the wrong way.
Hannah, stop trying to be a mom. Like, if you really feel like you have to be this man's mom, then you don't need to be in a relationship with this man. And it's simple as that. How I see it, if you feel like you're not happy and you don't want to be doing certain stuff, then leave. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you want to be the mom in a relationship, then sit there and be his mom. If you don't want to be his mom, then take your bag and walk away. Pull a Tim. Tell Nick you never want to see him ever again. Plain and simple. But if you're going to complain and cry about it all the time, it's going to get annoying.
I think it was so weird for me that she brought this conversation up as soon as Katie came in. Because it's just like, why are we talking about this right now? Mm-hmm. Ashley's telling you she wants you to be fun and you're talking about sex now. How did we get there? I don't know. But cool. Having the conversation. I feel like in regards to a relationship, I personally don't want to teach my partner. I don't want to have to, like, tell you what to do. I would hope that you, like, kind of figure it out. But I feel like there's space for grace. And you can't just expect your partner to just off the bat know, like, what to do and how to necessarily please you, whether it be sexually or whatever the case may be. There's always room for grace. There's always room for growth and, like, understanding of each other. And she has zero understanding. She has zero, like, patience for this man. And it's just like, girl, what do you expect him to do? Like, be a demon at this point? He just met you. Yeah. It would be even more suspicious because now, like, why do you know all these things? In my mind, at least, like, why are you so good at this? Off rip? Mm-hmm. Relax. You're a whore, in my mind. But, you know, to each his own. But like I said, just grace. Like, wait and let him figure you out. Learn your body. Learn the things you like. You learn what he likes and work your way up there.
Just take it slow. Mm-hmm. Hannah's expecting her and Nick to be, like, at the space of like a 10-year married couple.
Yeah.
Y'all are in the beginning stages. Like,
literally.
y'all are literally
2 weeks in.
Y'all are literally dating, and you're mad at the man for not being the perfect man for you when he has to get there. He has to get there. And I feel like it is because of Hannah's long time independence that she's just expecting like everyone to be at her mental level where she feels like she's at, but it's just not the case.
And her mental level is not even where she thinks it's at. If we're being completely honest. But hey. Next up we have Nick and Katie talking. Hannah's like, you're supposed to be my best friend. And Monica's like, yeah, she told me he was, attractive on Instagram or whatever. And she's like, yeah, it's weird. I thought she was my friend or whatever. Which is confusing because it's like, when were y'all really best friends? But okay. To each his own. She's talking to Nick and just, expressing the experience with dating him, being in the pods and, the whole dynamic, everything that happened. She says that she's always dated the same type of guy, and that's why she kind of like decided, I don't want to keep repeating the same cycles. And Nick is like, maybe you are picking the same guy because you have a type, which you should stick to. It's just the wrong guy. Which I feel like he was kind of alluding to like a little something. He was flirting a little bit.
He was flirting a little bit, but I feel like it wasn't crazy.
It wasn't crazy flirting, but it was still...
It was leaving
a lot for an engaged person.
It was cracking the door. It was leaving the door cracked a little bit.
He's like, maybe if this don't work out, I'll call you after.
But that's also because Hannah at home beating his ass. Mm-hmm. Yo, Hannah in the crib, like, making him do homework every night. So I get it, bro. I'll leave my door open, too. I gotta do homework every night as a grown-ass man. Like, so I get it, bro.
Oh, man. Yeah, so they just have, like, conversation back and forth. She's just telling him like, the real reason I didn't really choose you is because I just feel like you wasn't mature enough. You seem to just like sexualize me in a sense, and that made her uncomfortable. And she wanted more. She wanted to know like, whoever she was getting into this marriage with was already where she needed him to be. And she just didn't feel like he was mature enough to do that yet. But she really likes him and she wished him the best. She also tells him, like, she feels like he leads with his charisma and that he needs to, like, tap into the more deeper side so that people can actually get to see him a little bit more.
Yeah. I agree. Because, like I said, from off rip, I was like, yo, Nick is a gallus. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, he's not really a gallus, but he come off with this appearance that he's a gallus. And that will turn a lot of women away. Because women don't like gallus. Well, some women do. Yeah. But, like... When you're looking to get married, they don't want no gallus. Yeah. You want to get married to a gallus. Mm-hmm.
She basically, like, affirms him and just tells him, like, she's excited to see his growth, see the process, and wishes him the best. And I really liked that conversation. I felt like she was being she was showing her age. She's a 35, 36-year-old woman, like, very mature, very, like, sound in her mind and knows, like, where she wants to be in her life, but also is able to look at things on the outside and not, put herself in the situation, but like, hey, I see you. I hear you. I understand your situation. I wish you the best, but here's where you can work on things. And not even in a demeaning way, like how Hannah does it. It's more so like, just pointers to be better.
Yeah, facts.
Mm-hmm. He says he's happy with Hannah and he's been maturing so much. And then they agree like they're going to go to a Ravens game at the end of all this, which is cute.
Yeah. Free tickets because she worked for the Ravens.
Right.
It is. Hopefully I can go too.
Katie, hit our email with those Ravens tickets.
Facts. I will drive to Be More tomorrow.
Immediately.
If it comes down to it. So we will slide.
Next we cut to Taylor and Garrett, and she's still livid. She's upset like, bro, I really can't do this. They start arguing about the semantics of the conversation. Garrett's like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I really didn't mean to hurt you. Those aren't my intentions. I will try to do better. I didn't know how to actually respond to the situation, but like, I don't want this for us. I know that what we have going on is so much more than this situation, and it doesn't define me. It doesn't define our relationship. And I just want us to move past this. And she's just like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. I don't know where we are. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you're about to see my parents tomorrow, but I'm ready to go. Yeah, and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, I think Garrett did a good job of smoothing this whole thing over. Because I think it's an issue, but I don't think it's as major as it needs to be. Garrett doesn't seem like the type that he was really like flirting with the girl. He probably literally was like, yo, whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
probably didn't say he responded because he didn't want to like alarm her or anything like that, which people do sometimes. Instead of telling them truthfully, you tell like a little white lie because you don't want to scare them to protect them. But Gary seems like a good dude to me. He did a good job
for the most part, yeah.
So
I figure they're gonna work it out.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
So that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what else we gotta do?
In the comments below, drop your thoughts on the episode and everything we had to say. Mm-hmm. And let us know which couples you think are getting married and which couples are saying no at the altar. We got 1 or 2 episodes left. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on X at the Binge Box Pod, and we'll catch you in the next one. Happy binging.
Happy binging.